Hello there, welcome to the Perfume Experience. Welcome back to another fragrance review, and today we are going to talk to you about another popular fragrance from the Middle East. It's from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we are talking about Blue Lavarne Bakhur. So this is quite a popular flanker, and if you ask me, this is one of the most value for money fragrances that you can definitely get out there. So we'll definitely check it out in terms of figuring out how this particular fragrance smells and why should you consider getting it. All about it on this particular channel. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get going right after this. So welcome back, and first of all, this is the Blue Lavarne and this is the Bakhur from their house. They have a lot of fragrances. Now if you're wondering how you are able to get this particular fragrance in India, then stay connected with the community. You'll find the link on the description of this particular video. So we do get a lot of fragrances like this from abroad to give you in decants, and we got this particular fragrance as well just for those reasons. So this was at about, I think, about 550 rupees for about 10 ml. So it's a pretty good price for a 10 ml decant to consider to get this particular fragrance, right? So if you want to get the latest of fragrances and maybe some very good decants and all of that, then definitely be part of our community to be updated about it, right? Now let's talk about the particular fragrance, and we're talking about Blue Lavarne Bakhur. Now this, like I said, is from the house, or rather from the country of Saudi Arabia. So they do have a lot of good fragrances out there, and some of them do keep you in good surprises in terms of how they perform, right? So this particular fragrance is a 200 ml bottle. It comes in a basic paper box like this, and let's open it up and I'll show you how the bottle looks. So like I said, you don't really get this in India that easily. We had to kind of get it from somebody who was traveling over. So this is how the particular fragrance looks. So like I said, we did decant most of it, and this is, I think, about 20 ml or 30 ml that's remaining as part of this particular fragrance, right? So this is a pretty good bottle. The bottle is very, very good quality, and the cap is basically light, this very, very frail kind of thing. But the surprising thing is, just look at the atomizer of this particular fragrance. It's a very, very big atomizer considering a 200 ml bottle. Generally, you don't see this big as an atomizer. Now, one of the good things is it sprays very well because of that. So let's try spraying, So you can see that it's a very, very big, puff of spray that you get. So you don't really need a lot of sprays. So if you're doing, let's say, 10 sprays regularly, then you can just do about 6-7 sprays. That should be good enough, because the throw is larger, so you get a much bigger spray of fragrance, which makes a lot of difference as well. So what do you kind of get? So this is a fragrance that's got a typical Middle Eastern vibe, and if you're looking to try a Middle Eastern fragrance and you want to try and see how these fragrances smell, then this is one of those that I would recommend you to try. Okay, now another element is this is created by Christian Provenzano. He's a master perfumer behind many fragrances, so he's the one who's gone behind creation of this particular fragrance. The nose behind, or the master perfumer, is Christian Provenzano. Right? Now, what do you get? You get a very similar vibe of a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances, where the top note is incense. Okay, so that is something that you get immediately. You get a good amount of smoky vibe, incensey vibe, and followed by a good amount of oud. Now the oud is very evident here. It has got that slight animalic, smoky effect as such. So the oud is something that's very, very nice, but it's not an annoying type of oud. It's not that borderline skanky type of oud. It's got that slight animalic thing, but which is perfectly fine, because when you wear fragrances like leather and all of that, you do get that. Now this particular fragrance also has got, along with the oud, it also has got the leather note as well. So that is something that you will experience as well. So the leather note is there as well. So you do get incense, you get leather, you get oud. And then of course there is a citrus element, and which is quite prominent on this particular fragrance. You can kind of get the elements of citrus. You can kind of smell a little bit of earthy undertones when you kind of sniff up close, which is also about patchouli. Now it also is supposed to have geranium and jasmine as well, but I would say that they are very, very light in the air. It's predominant on, of course, the bergamot and patchouli as well. Aside to this, there is also violet leaf, there is also musk and cypress. So you do get a little more of that spicy elements on this particular fragrance, along with the guaiac wood, which also gives you a woody nature. But on the whole, if you were to really look at this particular fragrance, it's a fragrance that actually opens up with good amount of incensey vibe, a bit of oud and a leather going very well, slight hints of citrusy bergamot along with a little bit of a patchouli to give you that earthy green herbaceous type of a vibe. And in the background somewhere down there you can kind of feel a little bit of faint hills of powdery spicy elements which are not very prominent, but then you do get them lightly in the air. But overall it's a very, very good type of a fragrance. Now one of the nice things about it is that this is in a very unique blend in a way, so to say, that this is soft as a fragrance. Like, it's not one of those fragrances that is like loud and kind of thing, but then at the same time it is a fragrance that projects for a very far distance. Now that's something very, very unique, because generally fragrances are very loud that projects very well. This is being a little soft in its profile, still projects very well. You would think that you don't sniff it or you think it's too light, but then it will actually be there out there to about 3 feet plus, and a person sitting beyond 3 feet can also sniff that you have got a very nice incensey Middle Eastern type of a fragrance. And that is something which is very, very good quality about the Blue Lavarne Bakhur. Okay, now this particular fragrance also has another quality to it, that it projects for a long time that way. Even though it is soft, you will easily recognize this particular fragrance on you for a good 1.5 to 2 hours time. After that it's kind of soften up, so you will get about 6-7 hours roughly on your skin. I would say 5 to 6 hours to be safe, and on your clothes you can definitely expect about 6-7 hours easily. It does leave the impression on your clothes for a long time, so that is something nice. Now this is actually not a very expensive brand per se. Okay, so this is actually available in Saudi. If you're able to get it from there, you should be able to get it for about 3,500 rupees. But because it's being imported, you will get it around 7,000 rupees. If there are community sellers who are selling this, round about 6,500-7,000 rupees or so is the ballpark figure of this, which is extremely good value for money, because you get a 200 ml fragrance which projects well, which performs well, and it actually smells nice. Now one more element to know about this particular fragrance is that this is an inspiration, or it's got a similar scent profile of Gissah's Imperial Valley. Now Gissah's Imperial Valley also has got a similar note profile of oud, leather, but it has got davana and I think another note where this is slightly changed. The leather in that is in the in the base notes, but here it's on the top notes. A little bit of play around with those kind of things, but this particular fragrance does remind you of Gissah's Imperial Valley. And now Ahmad al-Baghrabi's Latani also is Gissah's Imperial Valley. I can kind of do a comparison between the two as well. But standalone, if you're looking to get a very high value for money type of fragrance, especially if you have got friends or relatives traveling from Saudi Arabia, definitely try getting a lot of the flankers from this particular house, which are really, really good. Now, like I said, we did have it on decants. I'm not sure if we have it anymore, but then pretty good fragrance, considering that you should look at a good Middle Eastern type of fragrance, right? So when can you wear this? Now, in my opinion, this is a fragrance that you should typically be very careful about where you want to wear it, in the sense to say you can wear it for celebrations, parties, weddings and all of that. If you're somebody who is bold enough, brave enough that you want to wear it to office, you could. It doesn't annoy anybody or anything as such. But do remember that because it is soft in nature, don't get misplaced about it. It does project for a very far distance, 3 feet plus. So if you have a colleague sitting next to you and that person doesn't like oud or leather type of fragrance smell, then that person might get a little annoyed. But otherwise you will absolutely enjoy this particular fragrance, especially in the evenings. If you're going out to celebrations, parties and all of that, that's the right occasion for you to wear. Gender, I don't have bias against gender or age. I think you should be able to pull it off as long as you're able to kind of comfortably wear a particular fragrance, right? Now this is one of the first ones that we're actually trying from this house, and we're looking to get more of these fragrances if possible, and definitely will share with you as well. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share, because you're going to get a lot of new videos coming through. We do have Fragrance World's Aether as well, and we do also have Zimaya's Wajood as well. So I'll be reviewing all of those in a short period of time. So I'll see you on another video. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.